Hi, and welcome to Webcast 9 of Ask Maggie. And today we're going to talk about something that affects mostly a lot of college-age kids, or young people, or people who go out a lot. Oh, it's a kitty. Yes, he wants to be a part of the video. That is Sushi. Okay, so we were talking about what happens when you drink too much and something happens. Maybe somebody slips you a roofie or a date rape drug. So let's take a historical perspective of this. Maybe Snow White was slipped a roofie in the apple. Alice in Wonderland, maybe. Sleeping Beauty, Goldilocks, Rip Van Winkle. It can happen to guys too, okay? But if you really want to see what can happen, watch the movie The Human Centipede, okay? So what is a guy to do when he has no charm or wit to get a consensual sex partner? Well, it's called date rape. And it can happen on a night when you just plan to go out and have drinks with friends, or you're going out alone and having a social gathering. And what do you need to know when you go out for a night of fun? Well, you can have too much to drink and know you're having too much to drink. Number two, you might be a newbie to drinking and you go out to drink and you don't know your limit, and then you get really messed up. Okay, then what if you're drinking, and it could be an alcoholic or a non-alcoholic drink, and somebody slips something into it? And no, this isn't an urban legend. Maybe your parents warned you about it or somebody. It's really easy to do. So whether you're male or female, it can happen to you, and you can wake up after 12 hours with your pants around your ankles, and then, of course, there's another cat. You wake up with your pants around your ankles, maybe your eyebrows shaved off, or your head, you have magic marker drawings all over your face, and you could even wake up in a strange place. But you have lost control. So I'm not saying don't go out and have fun, but just be smart and watch out for yourself and for your friends. Teamwork is important when you go out. So how is it that people can get date rape drugs? How easy is it? Well, first of all, this is kind of scary because you can just purchase it online. And even though Rohypnol, which is called roofies, is illegal in the United States, you can order it overseas very easily. And you can order online right now. And 90% of the purchasers, and I don't mean to pick on men, but 90% of the purchasers are men, and they're not using it for their own medicinal purposes, if you know what I mean. Now, what are the names that you might hear for date rape drugs? How about roofies, roach, rope, R2, rib, forget-me pills, Mexican Valium, or putting a kitten in her beer. And then, of course, there's date rape drug. Worst yet, there are people who go online and try to make their own. They go and look up a recipe. It's like right next to the chicken casserole. Very easy to do. And these people really don't care if they do it right or what happens to you if they give it to you. Now, so you're out and all of a sudden you start feeling a little bit weird. What do you think's going to be going on here? Well, if you haven't had any alcohol or just a little bit of alcohol, you want to watch for these signs, okay? Loss of control of movement, difficulty talking or slurred speech. Now, you know, that's an alcohol-related thing too, but if it sneaks up on you really fast, nausea, sleepiness, sleepiness is a big one, inability to think clearly, having difficulty breathing, starting to get a headache or weakness, decreased blood pressure. Now, nobody has a blood pressure cuff around, but you might feel it. Memory impairment, gastrointestinal trouble, meaning, you know, it's like whatever you ate, it's going to leave really quick. Urinary retention, bloodshot eyes, difficulty with vision, dizziness and confusion. Those are all signs that you have been drugged in your drink. Now, the drug only takes 15 to 20 minutes to take effect, and it peaks in about 2 hours. And in 2 hours, you're going to be about as limp as a partially deflated blow-up doll. Now, if you're with somebody you don't know very well, and you don't trust them. They can do anything they want to you. Now, what do these people look like that do it? Well, sometimes they look like that. Okay, no, usually it's a little bit, they're pretty normal. You know, Mr. Miho, normal guy. He tried to slip it to me once. I mean, drug. But yeah, they could be just normal people, and you think you can trust them. You don't know them well, don't trust them. And it causes something called anterograde amnesia, which means that you won't remember anything while you're under the effect of the drug, and it can impair your memory and motor skills for 8 to 24 hours. A lot can happen. What could happen in 8 to 24 hours? Well, that's pretty scary. Besides dying or overdosing or choking on your own vomit, a lot of people can have a lot of fun with you. Not a good thing. Now, the people who go to the trouble of making or getting these drugs illegally really don't care if they give you too much, or they overdose you, or they mix the formula wrong. They have one goal in mind, and that is to incapacitate you and to rape you. And yes, it can happen to men. They will dump your body in the woods if something goes wrong because they don't care. Now, Rohypnol, which is the roofies, is tasteless and odorless, and it dissolves easily in carbonated beverages. So you might notice a drink having a blue or a cloudy effect to it. Well, the makers of it did that on purpose for a reason, because they know it's used for date rape. But you would think, why don't they just stop making it? Well, because they would lose money. So now what? You think you might have been roofied, and you get with people you trust immediately. That's important. And tell them what you think is happening. Don't tell the bartender. How do you know the bartender isn't the one who put it in there in the first place? Call anyone you trust if you're alone and get to an emergency room for testing, because you can be tested for up to 60 hours for Rohypnol. And don't be afraid if you're an underage drinker and you think you have been drugged, because they have HIPAA rules in the hospital and they cannot report you for breaking the law and drinking. So don't worry about it. Just go to the hospital. You don't want to risk going into a coma or dying or something worse happening to you. So the drug is detectable in urine for up to 60 hours. So the sooner you go, the better. Your chances are detecting it, really. And because it starts to take effect in 15 to 20 minutes, and then it knocks you out, you really need to do something as soon as you start feeling the effect coming on, because after a while, you're just not going to be able to do much at all. So if you think you have been sexually assaulted under the effect of drugs, or you've just been sexually assaulted, period, okay? You want to seek treatment and file charges, even if you suspect you know who did it. They can prove it with DNA. The ER will do a rape exam. Yeah, I know, it's embarrassing. Nobody likes to put their feet up in the stirrups and all that. But then when this happens, waking up with your pants around your ankles and your bare butt all over Facebook because you've been drugged isn't a good thing either. So just go to the doctor. They're not going to take pictures and put it on Facebook. By the way, Rohypnol isn't the only drug that's used to do this. There's also GHB, Z drug, also called Ambien. That is actually a very easy to get sleeping pill. Ativan, Valium, Xanax, Librium, all available through prescription in the United States and can be stolen from mom's medicine cabinet. And there's also other things that they could do, like cough syrup or the nasal spray ingredient called oxymetazoline, all used for date rape drugs. And then there's also just excessive alcohol. They keep feeding you alcohol, really strong drinks, or hey, that's something you have control over, isn't it? It is. Okay, so just so you know, GHB is detectable for about 6 to 12 hours, so you really need to move quickly if you want to have a urine test, and GHB will make you physically violent. So how do you protect yourself? Here's a couple of things you might want to do. I'm not saying don't have fun, but if you do go out, don't accept drinks from other people. Number 2, open containers yourself. Open your beer by yourself. Somebody opens it for you, they pop something in there, it's all over. Keep your drink with you at all times, even if you go to the bathroom. Now, I know that really sounds gross, but then so does, well, having people do really rude things to you. Don't share drinks. Who knows? It could be in somebody else's drink. Don't drink from a punch bowl or a large container that's made to be shared. That's very popular at a lot of parties because it's cost efficient. Well, that is the easiest way to pop something in there. And if somebody offers you a drink, go to the bar with them and watch it being poured, and then you carry it back to the table. If it tastes salty or smells funny, it could have GHB in it. Bring a non-drinking friend along to keep an eye out for stuff like this and to make sure that everybody gets home safely. And if you feel drunk, and you probably shouldn't feel drunk because you haven't had that much, get help. Actually, if you feel drunk, and you should feel drunk because you had way too much, go home already. Just go home. Maybe go to church or AA in the morning, whatever it takes. But, you know, if you're drinking way too much, that's called alcohol abuse, and that's not a good thing either. So you could wake up hungover, disoriented, have no memory for that period of time, torn clothing, or your clothing is not on right. You might feel like you've had sex and you can't remember it, and sometimes sex can be like that. I've been married before, so I can tell you that I'm not being mean either. Oh, well, maybe I am. Nonetheless, sometimes you know when you've had sex, but you don't remember. Some women or men like to go to parties and take roofies and other party drugs just for fun. They do it recreationally. Well, guess what? 10% of them, 1 out of 10, were physically or sexually assaulted while under the influence, and they took the drugs themselves. Go figure. That's no fun. Now, that is just the basics of what you need to know about going out on the town with your friends. There's a lot of things in life you want to forget, but sex isn't one of them. And you know, you always have to keep in mind that they're the ones doing something wrong. Just because a woman is dressed like this, it doesn't mean that men can do whatever they want, or women can do whatever they want to, or either. I mean, I wouldn't go out dressed like this. No. All right, I did once. It was the 80s. So, besides a coma, choking on your own vomit, death, pregnancy, VD, or having your bare butt and passed out self all over Facebook and Twitter, what else can happen? Well, you could end up singing karaoke really badly, or wake up in jail, or both. The possibilities are endless. So I'm just saying, be careful out there. If this happens to you, see a counselor to deal with the emotional aftermath of it. That's always a good thing. And then if you watch this, to learn how to use the drugs on people, you need to email me so I can have you put in jail. Or maybe I can help you learn to meet women the right way, because there are no shortcuts to romance. So that is it. Have fun. Be careful, and thanks for watching Ask Maggie. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. It is not a substitution for counseling, even though I am a counselor. I'm more like your weird mom or your weird aunt or something like that. So go out, have fun, be careful.